The cold metal walls of the Val-3 command ship made Kim Tae-ho feel like he was trapped inside a giant refrigerator. He stood straight in front of the large viewing screen, waiting for his orders. The stars outside looked beautiful, but he knew better than to admire them during a mission briefing. Agent Kang Ji-woo appeared on the screen. His pale blue skin and dark eyes made him look like ice come to life. Behind him, other Val-3 officers moved around with their usual quiet efficiency. They never wasted time on small talk. "Agent Kim," Ji-woo said in his flat voice, "your new assignment is ready." Tae-ho nodded. He had been working for the Val-3 Intelligence Division for 3 years now. His mixed heritage made him perfect for jobs involving humans. His mother had been human. His father, Val-3. This made him look completely human while having enhanced strength and intelligence. "The target is Dr. Park Soo-jin," Ji-woo continued. A photograph appeared on the screen showing a young Korean woman with bright eyes and a warm smile. She works at the Seoul Advanced Research Institute on Earth. Tae-ho studied the image. Dr. Park looked to be in her early 30s. Her long, black hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail. She wore a white lab coat over casual clothes. Everything about her looked normal and friendly. "What is she working on?" Tae-ho asked. "Something dangerous," Ji-woo replied. "Human scientists are developing faster-than-light communication technology. If they succeed, it could threaten our control over interstellar communications." The screen changed to show technical diagrams that meant nothing to Tae-ho. He was a spy, not a scientist, but he understood the bigger picture. For centuries, the Val-3 Council had controlled all communication between different star systems. This gave them enormous power over trade, politics, and military movements. "The humans call it Project Starbridge," Ji-woo explained. "Dr. Park Soo-jin leads the research team. Intelligence reports suggest they are close to a breakthrough." Tae-ho felt a familiar knot in his stomach. His jobs usually involved watching people, gathering information, and sometimes stopping dangerous activities. He had never failed a mission, but he had also never enjoyed them. "What are my orders?" he asked. "You will infiltrate the research facility as Dr. Lee Min-ho, a new theoretical physicist. Your cover identity is already prepared. Your mission has 3 parts." Ji-woo held up 3 fingers. "First, gather detailed intelligence on their progress. Second, assess the real threat level of their technology. Third, if necessary, sabotage the project." The word sabotage hung in the air like a bad smell. Tae-ho had destroyed equipment before, but he had never hurt innocent people. Scientists were usually just trying to learn new things and help their people. They were not soldiers or criminals. "Sir, what if the humans are not actually threatening anyone?" Tae-ho asked carefully. Ji-woo's dark eyes grew colder. "That is not your concern, Agent Kim. The Val-3 Council has decided that human technological advancement must be controlled. Your job is to follow orders, not to question policy." Tae-ho nodded quickly. He knew better than to argue with his superiors. But the uncomfortable feeling in his stomach grew stronger. "Your transport leaves in 2 hours, Ji-woo continued. "All documents, credentials, and background materials are in your quarters. Study them carefully. Dr. Lee Min-ho must be completely believable." The screen went dark. Tae-ho stood alone in the briefing room for a moment, looking out at the stars again. Somewhere out there was Earth, the planet where his mother had been born. He had visited it several times for missions, but he had never felt connected to it. To him, it was just another assignment location. But something about this mission felt different. Maybe it was the photograph of Dr. Park Soo-jin. She had looked so genuinely happy, like someone who truly loved her work. Most people Tae-ho spied on were politicians, military officers, or business leaders. They were usually hard and suspicious. Dr. Park looked like someone who still believed the world was a good place. Tae-ho walked to his quarters and found the mission files waiting on his desk. Dr. Lee Min-ho's background was impressive. According to the documents, he had earned his doctorate in theoretical physics from Cambridge University. He had published papers on quantum mechanics and space-time theory. He had even won a small research award 2 years ago. The Val-3 were very good at creating false identities. Every detail would check out if anyone investigated. Tae-ho had learned to become whoever his cover identity needed to be. It was part of being a professional spy. He studied photographs of the Seoul Advanced Research Institute. It was a modern building with lots of glass and steel. The research floors were restricted access, but Dr. Lee Min-ho would have full clearance. Tae-ho memorized the building layout, security procedures, and staff information. Dr. Park Soo-jin's file was thick. She had graduated at the top of her class from Seoul National University. She had worked at several prestigious research institutions before joining the institute 3 years ago. Her specialty was quantum communication theory. She had published dozens of academic papers and spoken at conferences around the world. But the personal details were what caught Tae-ho's attention. Dr. Park volunteered at a local orphanage on weekends. She sent money to her elderly parents every month. She had never married, apparently too focused on her work to maintain serious relationships. Her colleagues described her as brilliant, but also kind and patient. Tae-ho closed the file and rubbed his eyes. This was going to be harder than usual. It was always easier to spy on people he could dislike. Bad people made him feel better about betraying their trust. Good people made everything complicated. His computer chimed with a message. The transport to Earth was ready for departure. Tae-ho gathered his materials and headed for the docking bay. As he walked through the corridors of the Veltri ship, he tried to prepare himself mentally for the mission ahead. In a few days, he would be Dr. Lee Min-ho, brilliant physicist and newest member of Dr. Park Soo-jin's research team. He would smile, make friends, and learn their secrets. Then he would report back to the Veltri Council and possibly destroy everything these humans had worked for. The transport ship was small but comfortable. As Earth grew larger in the view screen, Tae-ho wondered what Dr. Park Soo-jin was doing right now. Was she working late in her laboratory, trying to unlock the secrets of faster-than-light communication? Did she dream of connecting humanity to the stars? Soon he would find out. Soon he would meet the woman he was sent to spy on, and his life would change in ways he could never imagine. Dr. Lee Min-ho's first day at the Seoul Advanced Research Institute started with rain. Tae-ho stood outside the tall glass building, watching water droplets race down the windows. His fake credentials felt heavy in his pocket. In a few minutes, he would meet Dr. Park Soo-jin and begin his deception. The security guard smiled and checked his identification. Everything worked perfectly. The elevator carried him to the 15th floor, where the Quantum Communication Research Division occupied half the building. Through the glass doors, he could see scientists working at computers and complex equipment. Dr. Park Soo-jin was waiting for him in the main laboratory. She looked exactly like her photograph, but somehow more alive. Her eyes sparkled with curiosity as she approached him with an outstretched hand. "Dr. Lee, welcome to our team," she said warmly. "I'm Dr. Park Soo-jin. I've read your papers on quantum entanglement. Your work on particle synchronization is fascinating." Tae-ho shook her hand, surprised by how genuine her enthusiasm seemed. Most people he met during missions were guarded or suspicious. Dr. Park acted like she was meeting a friend. "Thank you, Dr. Park. I'm excited to contribute to Project Starbridge," he replied, using the rehearsed lines from his cover story. "Please call me Soo-jin. We don't stand on ceremony here." She gestured around the laboratory. "Let me introduce you to the rest of the team." Dr. Choi Hee-jin was the team's senior researcher, a quiet woman in her 40s who specialized in quantum field theory. She nodded politely when introduced, but seemed more interested in the equations covering her whiteboard than in small talk. Dr. Yang Dong-woo was younger, maybe late 20s, with thick glasses and an infectious grin. He handled the computer, programming and data analysis for their experiments. He immediately launched into an explanation of their latest simulation results. "We're so close to a breakthrough," Dong-woo said excitedly. "The quantum entanglement remains stable for almost 12 hours now. If we can extend that to 24 hours, we'll have proof of concept for interstellar communication." Tae-ho listened carefully, filing away every detail for his mission reports. But he found himself genuinely interested in their work. The science was elegant and ambitious. They were trying to solve one of the universe's greatest challenges. Su-jin showed him to his workstation, a desk with 3 monitors and access to the Institute's quantum computer. "I hope you don't mind jumping right in," she said. "We're working on some theoretical problems that could use fresh eyes." The next few weeks passed quickly. Tae-ho threw himself into the work, partly to maintain his cover and partly because the research fascinated him. His enhanced intelligence, inherited from his Vial-3 father, helped him understand complex concepts quickly and suggest solutions his colleagues hadn't considered. Su-jin began relying on his insights more and more. During their daily team meetings, she would often turn to him for his opinion on difficult problems. Tae-ho found himself working harder than necessary, staying late to help refine their theories and run additional simulations. "You're a natural at this," Su-jin told him one evening as they worked alone in the laboratory. Most of the building was empty, but she seemed comfortable staying late to pursue promising research directions. "I've always been fascinated by the idea of connecting distant places," Tae-ho replied honestly. "Communication is what makes civilization possible." Su-jin smiled and leaned back in her chair. "Exactly. Right now humanity is isolated on one small planet. We look up at the stars and dream about what's out there, but we have no way to reach out and make contact. This project could change everything." Tae-ho felt an uncomfortable twist in his chest. Su-jin's vision was beautiful and hopeful. She imagined humanity joining a larger galactic community, sharing knowledge and friendship with alien civilizations. She had no idea that those civilizations already existed and were actively working to keep humanity isolated. "What do you think we'll find out there?" he asked, curious about her dreams. "I hope we'll find friends," Su-jin said softly. "I believe most intelligent species want the same things we do. Safety for their families, knowledge to improve their lives, and connection with others who understand what it's like to be aware in a vast universe." Her words hit Tae-ho like a physical blow. The Vial-3 had told him that humans were aggressive and dangerous, that they would use faster-than-light communication to coordinate attacks on peaceful alien worlds. But Su-jin dreamed of friendship and mutual understanding. Over the following weeks, Tae-ho watched Su-jin interact with her team and saw nothing but kindness and patience. When Dong-woo made a mistake that cost them 3 days of work, she helped him fix it without anger or blame. When Hye-jin struggled with a personal problem, Su-jin listened and offered support. The team made steady progress on their quantum entanglement experiments. They achieved stable communication links lasting 18 hours, then 22 hours, then finally a full day. Each success brought them closer to their goal of interstellar communication. Tae-ho's handler, Agent Ji-woo, grew suspicious of his delayed reports. During their scheduled communication sessions, Ji-woo pressed him for specific technical details that could be used to sabotage the project. "The council is growing impatient," Ji-woo warned during one encrypted conversation. "They expected you to have stopped this project by now." "I need more time to assess the true threat level," Tae-ho replied, stalling for reasons he didn't fully understand himself. "There is no question about the threat," Ji-woo said coldly. "Human faster-than-light communication cannot be allowed to succeed. You have 1 week to complete your mission." After ending the communication, Tae-ho sat in his apartment staring at the city lights outside his window. Somewhere out there, Su-jin was probably still working in her laboratory, driven by her dream of connecting humanity to the stars. In a few days, he would have to destroy everything she had worked for. But as he thought about her bright smile and generous heart, Tae-ho realized something had changed inside him. For the first time in his life, he was beginning to question whether his orders were right. The woman he was supposed to spy on had become someone he admired and respected. The mission was about to become much more complicated than anyone had planned. Tae-ho's world collapsed on a Tuesday morning while he was drinking coffee in the Institute's break room. An encrypted message arrived on his personal communicator, marked with the highest priority codes. He excused himself from his conversation with Dong-woo and found a private place to read it. The message contained updated mission parameters from the Vial-3 Council. As Tae-ho read the cold, clinical language, his hands began to shake. This was not just about stopping the human communication project anymore. The Council had decided that Earth's scientific community posed a fundamental threat to Val-3 dominance. The new orders were clear and brutal. Project Starbridge was to be completely destroyed. All research data was to be eliminated. Every scientist involved in the project was to be terminated to prevent them from recreating their work elsewhere. Dr. Park Soo-jin, Dr. Choi Hee-jin, Dr. Yang Dong-woo, and 12 other researchers were marked for death. Tae-ho read the message 3 times, hoping he had misunderstood something. But the language was unmistakable. The Val-3 were not just trying to delay human technological advancement. They were planning genocide against Earth's brightest minds. The message ended with a timeline. A Val-3 strike team would arrive on Earth in 72 hours. Tae-ho's job was to disable the Institute's security systems and provide detailed floor plans of the building. The strike team would handle the rest. Tae-ho deleted the message and sat in stunned silence. For 3 years he had told himself that his work served a greater good. The Val-3 had convinced him that they were protecting galactic peace by preventing dangerous technologies from spreading. But this was not protection. This was murder. He thought about Soo-jin's bright smile and generous heart. He remembered Dong-woo's excitement about connecting humanity to the stars. He pictured Hye-jin's quiet dedication to pure science. These people were not threats to galactic peace. They were dreamers and builders, trying to make the universe a better place. Over the next 2 days, Tae-ho struggled with the worst decision of his life. He could follow his orders and watch innocent people die, or he could betray everything he had been taught and try to save them. The choice seemed impossible. On Wednesday evening, he made his decision. Instead of disabling the Institute's security systems, he began secretly upgrading them. Using his knowledge of Val-3 technology, he reinforced the building's defenses and installed new sensors that could detect alien weapons and equipment. But security improvements would not be enough. The strike team would be too well trained and heavily armed. Tae-ho realized that the only way to save Soo-jin and her team was to help them complete their project before the Val-3 arrived. If humanity could establish communication with other, alien civilizations, they might gain protection under galactic law. Thursday night, Tae-ho worked alone in the laboratory, using his enhanced abilities to solve the final technical problems that had been blocking the team's progress. He integrated Val-3 quantum theory with human engineering, creating solutions that neither species could have achieved alone. Soo-jin arrived early Friday morning to find their quantum entanglement array operating at previously impossible levels. The communication link was not just stable, it was actively reaching out across interstellar space, searching for other civilizations. "Minho, this is incredible," she said, staring at the data displays. "How did you solve the resonance cascade problem? We've been working on this for months." Tae-ho looked at her excited face and felt his heart break. In a few hours, he would have to tell her the truth about who he was and why he was really here. But first, he had to make sure their project succeeded. "There's something I need to tell you," he began carefully. "But first, we need to get the communication array to full operational status. Lives depend on it." Soo-jin's expression changed from excitement to concern. "What do you mean, lives depend on it? Minho, you're scaring me." Before Tae-ho could answer, alarms began blaring throughout the building. Emergency lights flashed red as the Institute's security system detected unauthorized aircraft approaching the building. Through the laboratory windows, they could see dark shapes moving through the early morning sky. "The Val-3 are here," Tae-ho said quietly. "The what?" Soo-jin asked, confusion and fear mixing in her voice. Tae-ho turned to face her fully. "My real name is Kim Tae-ho. I'm a Val-3 intelligence agent. I was sent here to spy on you and sabotage your project." Soo-jin stepped backward, her face pale with shock. "You're lying." "I wish I was," Tae-ho replied. "The Val-3 are an alien species that controls interstellar communication. They've been watching humanity's technological development, and they've decided that you pose a threat to their power." "That's impossible," Soo-jin whispered. "Aliens don't exist. This is some kind of joke." Tae-ho activated his communicator and showed her the encrypted Val-3 messages. The alien text and symbols were unlike anything on Earth. They're real, Sujin, and they're here to kill you and everyone else working on this project. The building shook as something large landed on the roof. Emergency evacuation announcements began broadcasting over the intercom system. Through the laboratory windows, they could see Institute security guards running toward the building's entrances. "Why are you telling me this?" Sujin asked, tears beginning to form in her eyes. "If you're one of them, why are you warning me?" Taeho looked into her eyes and saw the pain his deception had caused. "Because I was wrong about humans, I was wrong about you. You're not a threat to galactic peace, you're trying to build bridges between worlds, and I want to help you succeed." Sujin wiped her eyes and looked at the quantum communication array. "Can we really contact other civilizations? Can we call for help?" "Yes," Taeho said. "But we need to send the message now, before the strike team reaches this floor." Heavy footsteps echoed in the hallway outside the laboratory. The Vile 3 had entered the building. Taeho moved to the communication controls and began entering coordinates for the Galactic Council of Free Worlds, the only organization with enough power to challenge Vile 3 authority. "Sujin," he said urgently, "I need you to record a message. Tell them who you are, what you've discovered, and that Earth needs protection. This might be humanity's only chance." Sujin nodded and stepped in front of the communication array's recording device. Despite everything that had happened, her voice was steady and clear as she began to speak. "This is Dr. Park Sujin of Earth. We are a newly emerging civilization that has just achieved faster-than-light communication. We're reaching out to the galactic community in peace and friendship. We're under attack by hostile forces and desperately need assistance." The laboratory door exploded inward just as the message transmitted into space. Taeho stepped protectively in front of Sujin as armed Vale 3 soldiers entered the room. At their head was Agent Kang Jiwoo, his cold eyes fixed on Taeho with murderous intent. "Agent Kim," Jiwoo said softly, "you have disappointed the Council greatly." The laboratory filled with tension as 6 armed Vale 3 soldiers surrounded Taeho and Sujin. Agent Jiwoo stepped forward, his weapon pointed directly at Taeho's chest. Behind him, the other soldiers kept their weapons trained on Sujin and the quantum communication equipment. "Step away from the human, Agent Kim," Jiwoo commanded. "Your mission parameters have not changed. You will complete your assignment." Taeho remained standing protectively in front of Sujin. "I won't let you hurt her." Jiwoo's expression grew even colder. "You have been compromised by extended contact with the target. This is unfortunate but not unexpected. The Council prepared for this possibility." "What do you mean?" Taeho asked, though he dreaded the answer. "Termination of compromised agents is standard protocol," Jiwoo replied. "You will be eliminated along with the human researchers. Your failure will not be allowed to threaten Council objectives." Sujin's hand touched Taeho's shoulder. Despite her fear, she was trying to offer him comfort. The gesture made his heart ache with regret for all the deception and pain he had caused. "The message has already been sent," Taeho said. "Other civilizations know about Earth now. Killing these people won't stop human technological development." "One message proves nothing," Jiwoo said dismissively. "Without ongoing communication, the galactic community will assume it was an isolated signal. When we destroy this facility and eliminate the research team, humanity will lose the capability to recreate their achievement for decades." "You're wrong," Sujin said suddenly, finding her voice. "The research data is backed up in multiple locations. Other teams around the world are working on similar projects. You can't stop human progress by killing a few scientists." Jiwoo turned his attention to her. "Dr. Park Sujin, your optimism is admirable but misguided. The Vale 3 Council has been controlling technological development throughout the galaxy for centuries. We know how to eliminate threats permanently." "Maybe that's the problem," Taeho said. "Maybe it's time for someone else to guide galactic development." "Enough," Jiwoo snapped. "Soldiers, prepare to execute the targets." The Vale 3 soldiers raised their weapons, but before they could fire, the laboratory's emergency systems activated. Blast shields dropped over the windows and the room filled with defensive energy fields that Taeho had secretly installed earlier. "What is this?" Jiwoo demanded, his weapon sparking as it tried to penetrate the energy fields. "Insurance," Taeho replied. I've been preparing for this moment. The quantum communication array suddenly came alive with incoming signals. Lights flashed across the control panels as messages poured in from across the galaxy. Sujin's transmission had reached its destination, and the response was immediate and overwhelming. Impossible, Jiwoo breathed, staring at the communication displays. Sujin moved to the control panel, her scientific curiosity overcoming her fear. We're receiving signals from dozens of different civilizations. They're all responding to our message. One signal was stronger than the others. Text began appearing on the main display screen, translated automatically by the communication system. Sujin read it aloud, her voice growing stronger with each word. To the people of Earth, greetings from the Galactic Council of Free Worlds. We have received your message and are dispatching immediate assistance. Your planet is now under our protection. Any hostile actions against your people will be considered acts of war against the Council. Jiwoo's face went pale. The Council of Free Worlds has no authority in this sector. Apparently they do now, Taeho said. More messages appeared on the screen. Civilizations throughout the galaxy were welcoming humanity to the galactic community and offering friendship, trade agreements, and cultural exchanges. The isolation that had kept Earth alone in the universe was ending. You have doomed us all, Jiwoo said to Taeho. The humans will learn our technologies, discover our weaknesses. They will become a threat to every established civilization. Look at these messages, Sujin said, gesturing to the display. They're offering cooperation, not conflict. Humanity wants to be part of the galactic community, not conquer it. The laboratory door opened again, but this time it was Institute security guards, not VL-3 soldiers. Dongwoo and Hyojin entered behind them, their faces filled with concern and confusion. Sujin, are you all right? Dongwoo asked. We heard explosions and saw armed figures in the building. It's complicated, Sujin replied, looking at Taeho. But we're safe now. Jiwoo made a final desperate attempt to complete his mission. He lunged toward the communication array, trying to destroy the equipment with his bare hands. But Taeho intercepted him, and the two agents crashed into a bank of computers. The fight was brief, but violent. Taeho's mixed heritage gave him advantages in strength and speed, but Jiwoo was a trained killer with years of experience. They exchanged blows that would have seriously injured normal humans. You were our best agent, Jiwoo gasped as they struggled. Why did you betray us? Because I learned what it means to be human, Taeho replied, finally pinning Jiwoo to the floor. Institute security guards moved in to restrain the VL-3 soldiers, though they seemed confused by the aliens' unusual appearance and technology. Sujin was busy at the communication array, coordinating with the incoming messages from the Galactic Council. They're sending a diplomatic ship, she announced. It will arrive within 6 hours to formally establish contact with Earth's governments. Jiwoo and his soldiers were taken into custody, though Taeho knew they would probably be released as part of whatever diplomatic arrangements were made. The VL-3 Council would have to accept the new reality of human participation in galactic affairs. So what happens now? Dongwoo asked, staring at the alien text scrolling across the display screens. Now we learn, Sujin said simply. We discover what's really out there among the stars. We find out what it means to be part of something bigger than ourselves. She turned to Taeho, her expression mixing gratitude with lingering hurt. What about you? What will you do? Taeho looked around the laboratory that had become both his prison and his salvation. I don't know. I can't go back to the VL-3, and I'm not sure I belong anywhere else. You belong wherever you choose to build something positive, Sujin said. You saved our lives and opened the door to the stars for all humanity. That has to count for something. Through the blast shields, they could see the first alien ships arriving in Earth's orbit. Humanity's long isolation was ending, and a new chapter in galactic history was beginning. Taeho had played a crucial role in making it happen, but he wondered what price he would pay for his choices. The woman he had been sent to spy on was now preparing to become humanity's first ambassador to the stars. And despite everything that had happened between them, he knew he would do anything to protect her and the future she was helping to build. 3 months after first contact, the world had changed in ways no one could have imagined. The Seoul Advanced Research Institute had become the center of humanity's galactic communications network. Ships from dozens of alien civilizations orbited Earth, bringing diplomats, scientists, and traders eager to establish relationships with the newest member of the Galactic Council of Free Worlds. Taeho stood in the Institute's observation deck, watching a beautiful crystal ship from the Etherian Confederation dock with the orbital station. The Etherians were beings of pure energy who communicated through color and light. Their arrival had brought new understanding of consciousness and reality that would revolutionize human philosophy. The Etherian delegation wants to establish a permanent embassy in Seoul, Soo-jin said, joining him at the observation window. They're fascinated by human creativity and emotional expression. Taeho nodded but didn't turn away from the window. His relationship with Soo-jin had remained complicated over the past months. She had forgiven his deception and accepted his help in establishing Earth's galactic communications, but the easy friendship they had shared was gone forever. The Galactic Council wants you to attend the formal signing of Earth's membership treaty, Soo-jin continued. Your testimony about Veil-3 activities was crucial in exposing their illegal expansion policies. I'm not a hero, Soo-jin, Taeho said quietly. I spent 3 years helping them suppress other civilizations. The things I did before I met you. The things you did after you met us matter more. Soo-jin interrupted. The Council of Free Worlds has offered you full citizenship and a position as a cultural liaison. You could help prevent other species from being manipulated the way you were. Taeho finally turned to look at her. Soo-jin wore the formal robes of Earth's first galactic ambassador, a position she had accepted with characteristic grace and determination. Her face glowed with excitement about humanity's future among the stars. What about you? He asked. The Council wants you to establish Earth's embassy on the capital world. That means leaving Earth permanently. Soo-jin's expression grew thoughtful. I never imagined I would leave Earth when I started this research. I just wanted to send a message to the stars. Now I'm being asked to represent all of humanity in the galactic community. You'll be perfect at it, Taeho said honestly. Your vision of peaceful cooperation is exactly what the galaxy needs. But it means leaving everything familiar behind, Soo-jin admitted. My family, my home, the life I've always known. And it means leaving people who have become important to me. They stood in comfortable silence, watching the busy traffic of alien ships moving around Earth's orbital facilities. Dongwoo had been promoted to Director of Galactic Communications, managing the constant flow of messages between Earth and hundreds of other worlds. Hyojin had accepted a research position with the Crystalline Collective, studying quantum physics in ways that pushed the boundaries of known science. The transport ship leaves tomorrow, Soo-jin said eventually. The Council has arranged for me to spend 6 months learning galactic protocols and diplomatic procedures before taking up my permanent position. 6 months is a long time, Taeho observed. Yes, it is. Soo-jin turned to face him fully. Taeho, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Always. These past months working together to establish Earth's place in the galactic community have meant a lot to me, but I need to know if your feelings are real or if they're just guilt about your original mission. Taeho was quiet for a long moment, choosing his words carefully. When I first met you, I was following orders. I had spent my whole life being what other people needed me to be, but watching you work, seeing how you treated your team, learning about your dreams for humanity, you showed me what it meant to have real values and beliefs. That doesn't answer my question, Soo-jin said, softly. I fell in love with you, Taeho said simply, not with my mission target, not with Dr. Park Soo-jin, the brilliant scientist, but with Soo-jin, the person who sees the best in everyone and believes the universe is full of friends waiting to be discovered. Soo-jin's eyes filled with tears. I fell in love with you too. With Minho first, then with Taeho after I learned the truth, but love isn't always enough, is it? What do you mean? I mean that you saved my life and changed the course of human history. But I still don't know if I can completely trust you. Every time we're together, part of me remembers that you spent weeks lying to me every day. And I hate that I feel that way, but I can't make it stop. Taeho felt his heart break. He had known this moment would come eventually. I understand. Do you? Sujin wiped her eyes. Because I'm not sure I do. I want to ask you to come with me to the galactic capital. I want us to build something together, among the stars. But I'm afraid that I'll spend the whole time wondering if you're keeping secrets from me. I would never lie to you again, Taeho said. I believe you mean that. But trust isn't something you can just decide to have. It has to grow naturally, and it takes time. Taeho looked out at the stars again. So, what are you saying? I'm saying that I need time and space to heal from what happened between us. I need to focus on my new role without the complication of our relationship. And you need to figure out who you want to be, now that you're free to make your own choices. How much time? Sujin smiled through her tears. I don't know. Maybe 6 months, maybe a year, maybe longer. But if you're willing to wait, if you're willing to let me find my own way back to trusting you, then maybe we can try again. The next morning, Taeho stood on the observation deck watching Sujin's transport ship prepare for departure. The vessel was beautiful, designed by the stellar architects of Proxima 7. Its hull shifted colors like an oil slick, creating patterns that somehow conveyed feelings of hope and adventure. Sujin appeared on the deck's communication screen for a final goodbye. She wore traveling clothes now instead of her ambassador robes, looking more like the scientist he had first met months ago. Take care of yourself, Taeho, she said. The galaxy is a big place, but it's also surprisingly small. I have a feeling our paths will cross again. I hope so, Taeho replied. The stars won't be the same without you. Sujin's ship undocked from the orbital station and began accelerating toward the edge of the solar system. Taeho watched until it disappeared into faster-than-light travel, carrying the woman he loved toward her destiny among the stars. For months afterward, Taeho threw himself into his work as a cultural liaison for the Galactic Council. He helped newly contacted civilizations navigate their introduction to the galactic community. He exposed other cases of illegal technological suppression by various imperial powers. He slowly began to build a new identity based on protecting and nurturing rather than spying and sabotage. But every night he looked up at the stars and wondered what Sujin was doing on the distant capital world. Was she learning the complex protocols of galactic diplomacy? Was she making friends with beings from dozens of different species? Was she thinking about him at all? Then, 8 months after she had left, Taeho received a quantum-encrypted message on his personal communicator. The message was short and simple, but it made his heart race with hope. The stars are beautiful, but they're lonely without friends. When you're ready, find me. Coordinates attached. Sujin. For the first time since she had left, Taeho smiled through his tears. His mission as a spy had ended in failure, but his journey as a man was just beginning. Somewhere among the distant stars, the woman who had taught him how to be human was waiting for him. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders, but the most important adventure of his life was yet to come. Taeho began making preparations for the longest journey he had ever undertaken. This time he would travel not as an agent following orders, but as a man following his heart. The stars were calling, and finally he was ready to answer.